Have you ever met someone for the very first time? It felt like you've known them forever, or walked into a place you've never been? Yet every corner feels strangely familiar, as if your soul remembers something your mind has forgotten. Some call it déjà vu. But what if it's something more? What if you've been here before? In another body, in another time. Living a story that echoes quietly beneath your skin? In today's video, we're diving deep into one of the most mysterious and controversial questions of human existence. Is reincarnation real? And more importantly, could you be living a life you've already lived before? We'll explore what ancient Buddhist texts say, what modern researchers have discovered, and how subtle signs in your life today may be pointing to a soul history far older than you ever imagined. This isn't just a theory. For some, it's the missing piece that finally makes sense of their pain, their purpose, and their deepest questions. So take a deep breath, let go of everything you think you know, and prepare to look at your life and your past through a whole new lens. Welcome to Satori Nest. Let's begin. When most people hear the word reincarnation, they imagine being reborn as a bird, a tree, or maybe a king in a past life. It sounds mystical, or even unbelievable. But what if reincarnation isn't about switching species or being someone famous? What if it's simply this? Your consciousness continues beyond the body, and your soul carries memories, not in your brain, but in your energy. In Buddhism, reincarnation isn't a fantasy. It's a natural continuation of life, death, and rebirth, not as reward or punishment, but as the unfolding of cause and effect. What we call karma. Karma doesn't judge, it simply carries momentum. Think of it like this. Every thought, every action, every desire you hold is like a stone thrown into the river of your soul. The ripples travel. And sometimes they don't stop at the shore of this life. They continue into the next. Even modern thinkers and scientists have begun to explore this. Dr. Ian Stevenson from the University of Virginia documented over 2,500 cases of children who recalled past lives with shocking accuracy, names, places, deaths, languages they never learned, and countless others, under deep hypnosis or meditation, have retrieved memories and emotions that didn't belong to this lifetime, but felt undeniably real. So maybe reincarnation isn't about believing, maybe it's about remembering and asking, what parts of my story didn't begin here? What pain, longing, or patterns have I carried beyond the moment I was born? Because when you see your life not as a single event, but as a soul's journey across time, everything changes. The fear of death softens, your wounds make more sense, and even your struggles become sacred. There are stories, not written in books, but etched into the minds of children who have never read those pages. Take the case of a boy in India, just 4 years old, who began telling his parents that he was murdered in a village miles away. He named his killer, described the house, and when his family took him there, the villagers confirmed. A man by that name had lived and died there, in exactly the way the child described. Even the scar matched. He had never been there before, at least not in this lifetime. Dr. Ian Stevenson, a respected psychiatrist at the University of Virginia, spent over 40 years researching cases like this. No hypnosis, no religion, just quiet observation and detailed interviews. His work uncovered hundreds of children across cultures, from India to Lebanon to the US, who remembered names, addresses, family details from people who had already died. One child even spoke fluently in a language they had never been exposed to. These stories aren't meant to convince you. They're here to invite you to look deeper, and it's not just children, adults too. During past life regression therapy or deep meditation, often recall vivid memories, wartime trauma, ancient temples, lost lovers, and when these images are followed up, some match real people and places that were previously unknown. How is this possible? Perhaps memory isn't only stored in the brain. Perhaps it's stored in the consciousness field, a vast energy beyond the physical, where everything you've ever been still exists. And maybe those moments of déjà vu, irrational fears, or deep soul connections aren't random at all. They might be echoes from a life you thought was lost, but was never truly gone. You may not remember your past lives, but your soul does. It speaks to you. It's through your patterns, your wounds, and your relationships. Have you ever wondered, why do I keep attracting the same type of painful relationship? Why do I fear something I've never experienced in this life? Why do certain people feel instantly familiar or instantly triggering? These aren't just coincidences. They may be unfinished energy from another chapter of your soul's story. In Buddhist philosophy, these are known as samskaras, deep imprints of past experiences carried from lifetime to lifetime, shaping how you see the world, how you react, and what you are here to learn next. Maybe that intense connection you had with someone wasn't love at first sight, but recognition across lifetimes. Maybe your unexplained anxiety isn't random, but an echo of a trauma your soul still holds from a time long ago. Maybe you weren't born a certain way, but were born to continue where you left off. Even science now recognizes something similar. Epigenetics shows that trauma can be passed down through generations, encoded not just in DNA, but in behavioral memory. But Buddhism goes further. It says memory travels with consciousness, and what's unresolved will always try to return. Not to punish you, but to give you another chance to choose differently. So when you find yourself stuck in cycles, in love, in failure, in fear, pause. Ask yourself, what am I still carrying that didn't begin in this life? What lesson is asking to be completed now? Because when you can see beyond the surface of your pain, you stop being its victim, begin to become its healer. What if the obstacles you face today are simply echoes from a story you've lived before? You might not consciously remember your past lives, but they may still be shaping your present, quietly, invisibly, persistently. Here are 5 signs that a past life pattern may still be active within you. 1. Instant, intense connections or aversions. You meet someone and instantly you feel it. A deep pull or a deep discomfort. No logic, no reason. Just soul-level recognition. These are often karmic bonds. People you've known before, lovers, teachers, enemies, even family from other lives returning to help or challenge your evolution. 2. Unexplainable fears or phobias. Are you terrified of drowning, but never had a near-drowning experience? Fearful of fire, or war, or abandonment. With no cause in this lifetime, these may be emotional residues from events your soul hasn't fully released. Often, Trauma from past lives surfaces as irrational fear in this one. 3. Strong pull towards certain cultures, eras, or places. Do you feel deeply connected to ancient Egypt, to Japan, India, or Celtic Europe, even though you've never been there? This affinity may be a soul memory, a place you've walked before. You're drawn to it, not by curiosity, but by familiarity. 4. Talents or skills you never learned. You pick up a language quickly. You have a gift for music, art, or healing, with no formal training. Some talents are simply carried across lifetimes. Your soul doesn't forget what it once knew deeply. 5. Recurring dreams or visions that feel too real. Dreams of battles, temples, flying, or dying. Detail, emotion, and clarity far beyond ordinary dreaming. These could be memory fragments surfacing in your sleep. Moments your soul still holds as significant. You don't need to chase these signs. You don't need to believe blindly. You simply need to listen and ask, what is my soul still trying to tell me? Because if these signs are arising in your life, they're not random. They're invitations to remember, to heal, and to evolve. So you've noticed the signs, the strange familiarity, the emotions that don't quite belong to this lifetime, the dreams, the pulls, the patterns. Now comes the deeper question. How do I know what this really is? How can I heal what I cannot fully remember? The truth is, your soul already remembers. You don't need to force anything. You only need to become still enough to listen. Here are 3 gentle but powerful ways to access and begin healing past life energy. 1. Meditation entering the soul's memory field. Through consistent meditation, not striving, but softening, you begin to create space for subtle impressions to arise. Sometimes images, emotions, or sensations surface without logic. Don't push them away. Sit with them. Observe. Ask. Is this mine? Or is this older than me? What appears might not be literal memory, but emotional truth from a soul chapter that still echoes. 2. Inner dialogue. Gentle inquiry with your soul. In moments of quiet, place your hand over your heart. Ask, is there something I still need to understand? What lesson am I repeating? What can I release now with love? You may hear words. You may feel waves. Or perhaps just a peaceful silence. That silence can be the answer. 3. Past life regression with a guide or alone. There are practitioners trained to guide you into deep regression, where your subconscious can safely bring forth past life memories. But even without a guide, a deep guided meditation can open doorways within. Warning: the goal is not to get dramatic stories. The goal is to uncover emotional truths that empower healing, not to feed the ego. You might cry without knowing why. You might feel deep love or sadness from nowhere. That nowhere may actually be your soul remembering something unfinished, now ready to let go. Healing isn't about reliving your past lives. It's about releasing the weight of what no longer serves you. And sometimes the moment you simply acknowledge the pattern is the moment it begins to dissolve. You don't need to solve every mystery. You only need to honor the ones that rise. Because remembering isn't the goal. Freedom is. Maybe you'll never know exactly who you were before. Maybe the names, places, and stories will remain hidden, like pages torn from a sacred book, and that's okay. Because reincarnation is not about nostalgia. It's not about proving something or chasing old glories. It's about understanding this. You didn't come into this life as a blank page. You came as a soul mid-story, carrying wisdom, wounds, gifts, and unfinished lessons. The life you're living now, it isn't random. It's chosen by you at a level deeper than memory. The pain you face, the love you long for, the patterns that repeat, they all carry whispers from your past. But you are not doomed to repeat. You are invited to awaken. Every choice you make now, every breath, can be the one that breaks a cycle, that sets the soul free. So ask yourself, what am I ready to release? What am I here to complete? And who am I? Beyond this body, this name, this moment. Because maybe, just maybe, you are not who you think you are. You are more, older, wiser, deeper, a traveler across lifetimes. And this chapter, this one, is sacred. If this message resonated with you, if something deep inside you felt known, don't ignore it. There's more to remember, and even more to awaken. Subscribe to Satori Nest, where ancient truths and modern seekers meet.